So I wanted to talk about the third paragraph on page 158, which is, "For Daisy was young and her artificial world was redolent of orchids and pleasant, cheerful Cenobrian orchestras, which set the rhythm of the year, summing up the sadness and suggestiveness of life in new tunes." That's the first sentence. And I thought it was very comparative to Gatsby, since he kind of lived in his own little world with everything that he expected, and him talking about when he was 17 making up the character Jay Gatsby, and how he wanted to be rich but he wasn't. And this kind of goes with her and how she kind of presents herself to be this all nice little bubbly person when she knows that like she's not really happy with how she's living and her husband and stuff. And so I just wanted to think what you thought of that paragraph and how it relates to the story or two other characters.
So I think this paragraph is kind of talk about the world that Daisy is living since she is young. So, I mean, like in page 150.
Aliyah, how do you feel like? Oh, you have to take the progress check today, don't you?
I don't remember what page is that, but it's like where Gatsby say he's like making up a character, give Daisy a sense that they're in the same class. So I don't know, it's just I feel it's kind of saying that they are living in a different world, and so which kind of imply the end of the chapter, like how they didn't really come together, and there's such a difference between them.
Yeah. Where's the end of the chapter? Okay.
It's like one died, and then because Daisy killed Mrs. Wilson, and then that's Gatsby's car, so Mr. Wilson killed Gatsby instead of Daisy.
Yeah. That whole little thing, that whole fiasco. Okay. So, throughout the entire book, I was kind of like, a lot of the things that happen in the story make no sense to me. I don't know, was that just me, or did you kind of feel that too? Like, there were a lot of things. There was that whole conversation about, oh, are these books real? Yeah, they're real. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In, like, the beginning of the book. And then there was that whole thing about, like, the guy going down the hill. And so many of the details in the story, I feel like, make no sense. But I guess it just kind of sets the like, mood and the setting of how these people lived. And I feel like that's how the end of this chapter was. Like, oh, this woman got killed by getting hit by a car that Daisy was driving, but Tom can't know about it because he wouldn't like that, especially with Gatsby around. And then he drowned Wilson in the pool. And so I was just like, that's kind of...
That really sucks though, because then, like, I need if I want to delete
I think it's more like, I mean, those doesn't really make sense story. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of ironic for me because, you know, how Daisy killed Mrs. Wilson, I don't remember her name, but like, Gatsby's the one who's been killed.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and also the books before, like, they use the books as like decoration instead of the source of knowledge. I don't know, I feel it's kind of show like how the upperclassmen just really pay attention to the surface of things instead of what is inside. Yeah, it's not like in depth. And also like how the death of Gatsby is kind of like, I don't know, I feel like those things that happen to the lower classmen like Mrs. Wilson and Gatsby, even though he's kind of new money now, but he came from lower class, so those things happen to them didn't really affect the upper class anymore. You know how Daisy didn't do anything even though she killed a woman.
Yeah,
I don't know, I just feel the ironic how the classes, you know, the society structure.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the very beginning of the chapter when Nick, he said he couldn't sleep all night long because he was worried that, I'm assuming the police would come for Gatsby because Daisy couldn't be left accountable for what happened because, like, she's, like, a woman, she can't be driving. And so I guess this kind of goes along with what you're saying, but he'd actually have a consequence since he knew something would happen to him. But I don't know if they were able to like bribe their way out of things back then, and I don't know if Gatsby would do that if the police actually did come for him, even though Nick warned him. But then at the end, how he like was kind of killing himself, like as you said, kind of goes along with the reality of what's happening, not only with like Daisy. Well, this does have to do with Daisy since she was the main part of it. But also his internalized, I'm kind of taking in everything at the same time, and I've been holding everything in for such a long time.
Do you want to go to the next problem or question that you have?
Oh, yeah. Okay. On page 162, in the beginning, he says you're worth the whole damn bunch put together, but then he follows with, because I disapproved of him from the beginning to end, which I didn't understand why he would say that. I mean, I guess he just said it just to be nice and to kind of make him feel better and not hurt, as we had talked about. And even in the beginning, I remember he said that Gatsby turned out all right in the end. And that was in the first chapter. On page 6. And so I never understood why he said you're worth the whole damn bunch put together, and yet he just kind of contradicts himself immediately afterwards.
I think you are worth the whole damn bunch put together. I think it's more likely. It's more. I feel it's like that. You are better than those upper class men. It's kind of, you are better than the own money. Like the contradiction that he made. I think the disprovement came from because Nick is from old money family, and Gatsby is new money. So it's the disprovement is more likely because of those
social classes.
Yeah, I feel it's like that. But like Nick also admire Gatsby somehow.
Yeah.
Because like he understands the rule of new money, so it's kind of like disapproving because the old money things differences, but also admire because Gatsby's characteristics.
Yeah, he's not like Tom.
Yeah, he's not like
better than Tom.
He's better than Tom. We can see like from Nick's narration, Alice, even though we don't really know if Tom is actually not it's actually that bad, but like from Nick's perspective, Gatsby's definitely better than
100%.
Yeah.
Even though Gatsby's not the best. But I think the author or Nick intended Gatsby to be seen in a better light than Tom. Tom was kind of like the antagonist of the story, I suppose you could call him. Yeah. Okay, I think we should stop.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.